It's the Slow Loris of Morning Talk Radio. It's your favorite morning host, the one and only Adam Josh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Banana Show. My name is Adam Josh. This is a banana. I have some dates here as well, some very good dates from Saudi Arabia. We're listening to an old song of mine called The Internet. Of course, I made that song about the internet, so it's annoying and banal and repetitive. 2005. Just checking the live streams to see how we're doing. Am I right side up or not? I'm right side up. Crazy. What's going on? So we're here. We made it to Morning Banana number 57. So thank you so much for tuning in and thank you for watching. I am going to start this banana and chat a little bit about what's going on in the world and in my life. The Morning Banana Show was never meant for me to be stressful. Something that I do this anyway. I have a coffee, I have a banana usually most mornings, and I didn't want it to be something completely stressful. So sometimes I'll go a while without making a Morning Banana Show. You know, if there was any money in this, if I was making some money off of doing the Morning Banana Show, then maybe I would be more inclined to be consistent. But anyway, a lot of things going on in the world. I was reading yesterday about this Jeffrey Epstein situation, and somebody was saying, do you really think that he's in prison? And we heard all these stories about, well, he's curled up in a corner in a fetal position. It makes you feel kind of like, oh yeah, that guy's getting what he deserves. Yeah. Do you really know that he's in prison? Do you really think he's in prison? Maybe he is. But it was a good point. It was a good point about how do we know these things. You know, the mainstream media always lies to us about every single thing, but not this one thing. Not this one thing. So, forgive me if I'm a little rusty. What else can we talk about? Flat Earth news. I was watching some good Flat Earth commentary the other day. Uber driver Flat Earth? I don't know. He was driving around talking to people about Flat Earth as he got Uber, so he wasn't a driver. I think if you go on YouTube and type in Uber Flat Earth, you could probably find the guy. I think he is Scottish. So we go on YouTube and we type in Uber Flat Earth. That is not helping. Uber driving. Oh, I might be wrong. Maybe his channel is Uber Flat Earth. No. Okay, well, you'll have to follow me on Twitter and look at some of my old tweets. I was talking to a buddy of mine. Hashtag, or his handle is at oneness. And we were chatting about it, so you'll have to follow me on Twitter and see it there. In other news, I'm in the middle of building the fourth restaurant that we've built this crazy adopted family that I have. And in your life, you meet crazy people, and I was in the middle of working on this 4th restaurant. When a city inspector, who up until then I got along with, he decided to say that we want to see proof from your engineers of what you're doing. Some of you may remember, if you look at the hashtag Restaurant4 on Twitter, or follow me on there on Twitter. I only really talk about Twitter because that's the only social media I'm on. I don't do anything else, Instagram or Facebook or whatnot. But anyway, if we were talking a lot about the bulkhead at one point. Sorry, I'm just going to put some water in the coffee machine. The bulkhead. The bulkhead, the bulkhead, the bulkhead, the bulkhead. The bulkhead was made to house the HVAC tubes, the venting tubes, right? So they made this bulkhead, like when you're in a plane, but except this was not in a plane. And it was for housing cooling and heating tubes. These giant steel tubes that I took apart myself. When I took the bulkhead out myself. Now this bulkhead, after all this work, the city inspector basically came along and said, well, where is your engineering diagrams to say that this wasn't a structural or a load-bearing design, a load-bearing part of the structure. Now, the building is built entirely out of wood in 1980. I have the blueprints from the original build. I had our architect and the structural engineer say verbally, yeah, it's fine, go ahead. It's not a part of a structural thing, because on the documents, the original guy who drafted it all basically wrote all the structural load-bearing beams, and this was not one of them. Saying all that, if you're not into building and you see, a 90-degree bulkhead wall going down near the attic or near the ceiling, and all of a sudden you see it there, and then all of a sudden you see it's not there, that could freak you out, right? And I'm sure that the owner of the building that we're leasing it from probably had some words for her about that. Regardless, so we had to basically pause all the build for a while, like my end of the build, because I was the one doing the bulkhead and whatnot. So as of yesterday, we've been given the green light to go back to construction, so I'll be back in Brantford for a while. But in the meanwhile, they've been doing all the rest of the interior drywalling and whatnot without me being there. So I'm assuming that when I go back there, there's going to be quite the developments. I've seen a few photos from, the managers of the other store that we have up there. But I'll be honest with you, if I can just stay in town and not travel all around the different locations that we've built over the years, I'd be happy. Like, I would love to build some vegan restaurants. That's where my heart is. That's what I want to do. So in the meanwhile, I'm building a wall in the shop here, finishing up the wall, and I'm going to gut the shop. I think I'll spend today doing that. And I'm working on... Is that a sliver? It is a sliver. Oh, man. I'm working on building the bones here for a repair business. The structure and the bones, whatever you want to call it. So that's exciting. It's a lot of work, and I'm one person, so I'm trying to do it all. In other exciting news, I can tell you, I was stressed out about my second mortgage. I was. Not stressed out about the first mortgage, which is like $500,000, been paid down over the years. This is probably not going to get the splitter out. But I wasn't stressed out about that. I was stressed out about the smaller... It's a really big splinter. I was stressed out about the smaller mortgage. And anyway, good news. They accepted my terms. I was able to pay it down. And life goes on. So that's a relief off my shoulders. If I ever get... I guess now I've kind of locked myself in for another year, but hopefully by this time next year I'll have $25,000 in liquidity that I can just hand them. You know, it's a kick in the nuts to give away $5,000 for me, but $25,000, I don't know. You know, who has all this liquidity just laying around at my age? I'm working on it, you know, building the empire and whatnot, but a year after buying a $500,000 home to have all this money laying around, a little bit much. So I'm doing what I can, and yeah, the kids are enjoying their summertime. I think I talked about in the last video, I went to Pie Bird Vegan Farm Stay. Since I've been to Pie Bird Vegan Farm Stay, they've had a bit of an issue with somebody else writing articles about their website, or writing articles about their website, articles about their farm stay, and linking to their website, and saying, you know, this is a place that you can go to cuddle and snuggle goats. You know what I like about the Morning Banana Show is it's like 9 o'clock in the morning and I literally am waking up in front of you. My habit is I get up, I brush my teeth, wash my face, and get out the door. Might have a second coffee. So, this person wrote this article about Pie Bird, that you can go there and snuggle the goats. Want to get away from the city? You know, go to Pie Bird and snuggle the goats. And so that is polar opposite to the vision of Yan and Sherry, the operators of the place. And they don't want people coming there to book time to snuggle goats. I can't even imagine what kind of people would show up. I'm here to snuggle the goats. I saw the article, I would like to snuggle the goats. So I hope that they can make it through that. What else can we talk about? Iran, war, China, war, Epstein on suicide watch. We kind of touched on that earlier. He was found semi-unconscious, marks on his neck. Sources say, and investigators are trying to piece together exactly what happened. Yeah, and so either he's in jail, and all this is true, and the mainstream media is now for some reason not lying, or he's not in jail, and he's out living the rest of his life on a secluded island somewhere, and all this is just theater until they kill the character of Jeffrey Epstein off, and the real Jeffrey Epstein is living life. Kind of like Hitler, you know? There's all these conspiracy theories about Hitler, how he lived out the rest of his life in, South America? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a kooky conspiracy theorist about it. I mean, I was like everybody else. When I was reading the articles about Jeffrey Epstein, I was like, oh, cool, he's in jail. Finally, good. I'm glad. But now, you know, when somebody just points out to you, like, how do you know he's in jail? I don't. I read it on the mainstream news. And they never lie, so. But anyway, guys, I'm almost done this banana. Let's put on another song. This is The Man by Misdemeanor, an old band that I used to play drums for. So believe it or not, this is me on the drums. When I was in the band Misdemeanor, we were based out of Saskatchewan, Saskatoon to be exact, Saskatchewan. I enjoyed playing the music, but ultimately I moved back here to Niagara. Making another coffee here. I miss playing drums sometimes. Miss playing drums sometimes. Anyways, guys, that was Morning Banana number 57. I gotta go build a wall, and then you know what it is next week. I'll be back to Restaurant 4, continuing on drywalling. Oh, what else could I tell you? I was interviewed for an article about vegan parenting, which is kind of cool. And also really not fair to Desiree, because I would say she's with the kids maybe 80% of the time is a little bit too much, but 75% of the time I would say Desiree's with the kids, 25% is me with the kids, and that's just the way it is. Maybe a lot of parents are in a similar situation, I don't know. But yeah, so I only answered the questions in the interview from a dad's perspective who spends 25% of the kids, 25% of the time with the kids. I'm not trying to overreach and say like, oh, it's 50-50, or split the time right down the middle, because it's not true. I'm at work. She's at home with the kids. And I get home late a lot of the times, and anyway, whenever I can link to the article, whenever it's done, I will do that on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, at AdamJosh.com. My websites are too many to list, because I just bought another one now. But the main one for myself is AdamJosh.com. And when the business that I'm working on in the background is up and running, I will give you the links. So take care of yourself, and make sure to eat some bananas, because they're healthy. AdamJosh.com.